Jamie Collin with a fantastic score from way out the field.
Absolutely brilliant score, Martin. Pat Horgan there, he's at centre forward, a little flick with his boot there. It was as close in, a little flick out and a great score.
Ball comes down towards Danny Sutcliffe. Coming in to challenge is Stephen White. Sutcliffe trying to make a little bit of space. Linesman indicates it's a Cork ball. For a little while, one felt that Dublin were getting the initiative, but in the last 5 minutes, you have to say it's advantage Cork.
Well, what's happened, Marty? Paul Ryan missed 2 frees that he normally score. Anthony Nash scored 2 long-range frees and then the sending off. And you know, as I say, I hope it's not the deciding factor of this game, but it's going to obviously have a big input now with Cork having the extra defender.
Niall Corcoran got a touch, but it's Liam Rush that burst forward. Wonderful play by the centre half back. Goes for distance. Remember, Cork have an extra man now, and it's quite evident. Conor O'Sullivan to Daniel Carney, giving it into the centre to William Egan, flicking it forward for his Lorcan McLaughlin. Carnedy tries to control it. Dublin backs down. Datsio O'Callaghan, look where he is. Comes through for his Joey Boland. O'Callaghan is almost playing as a left half back at the moment. Paul Ryan tries to flick it forward. Comes back out towards right corner back Stephen McDonald. Referee says no foul given. Mark Schutte is the Dublin player. Paul Ryan tries to get it inside to him. Back there helping out is Jamie Collin. Down towards Luke O'Farrell. Niall Corcoran battling hard with Patrick Horgan, former Aircourt Galway minor, now playing with Dublin since 2008. Gives it for his Danny Sutcliffe. Thumps it into the space. Chasing after this is Mark Schutte. Trying to gather it, does succeed. It's Danny Sutcliffe, in fact. Sutcliffe from in front of the Hogan stand. That is brilliant play by Danny Sutcliffe. It's his 4th point of the game. And Dublin haven't gone home.
Oh, well, that's an unbelievable score. Just watch this for a turn here, right out on the sideline. Danny Sutcliffe is putting in an unbelievable performance here. And, you know, the last passage to play, Cork they were kind of trying to waltz down the field with a whole lot of short passes, and Dublin intercepted, and Jimmy Barry was going mad on the sideline. And a great score, as you see there again from Sutcliffe.
54 and a half minutes played. Its teams have been level 14 times. The referee has given a free to Cork. Peter Kelly doesn't agree. Let's see what happened here. As Kelly and Cronin went for the ball. Was that a foul?
Minimal enough contact there. Cronin was out in front. He got the benefit of the doubt from the ref. But I think the Dublin supporters over the last few minutes, Stephen McDonald was definitely fouling over in the far wing there a few minutes ago. Got down on top of, I think it was David Tracy going for a ball there. Datsio O'Callaghan out around the middle of the field, Marty, as a third midfielder. You wouldn't think that he'd be the best suited to that. But he's, you know, he's on the go a long time. He's in his 30s. A lot of running out there, you know, trying to cover that ground. But he's a very intelligent hurler, trying to obviously hope he'll pick up a few balls and play them into space.
Patrick Horgan has scored his 6th point of the game. Jimmy Barry Murphy quite animated along the sideline. Still time, just 1 point between the teams. Lorcan McLaughlin beaten on this occasion by Datsio O'Callaghan. Lorcan McLaughlin comes in to challenge. Datsio, difficult angle. Was a bit optimistic from there, to be honest with you. He needed to recycle it a bit. He had support behind him. Obviously didn't hear the call. Anthony Daly with Richard Stakelum right beside him. Dublin management team trying to come up with something. So too is Shane Martin and Kieran Heatherton. Tuck out, dropping down into Dublin territory. Peter Kelly is underneath it. And Paul Schutte under a little bit of pressure. Patrick Horgan is there trying to dig it out. Arriving in is Liam Rush. And that's going to be a throw ball surely on the 20-metre line. As the referee, James Owens, throws the ball in. Liam Rush comes away with it, but he pulled back on Patrick Horgan in trying to extract himself with the hurley, but he did pull back, and it will be interesting now to see what the referee James Owens is going to do here.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, you watch Liam Rush, just a bit frustrated here, and what swings back, and that's a red card. Much more than that's a red card. It's striking or attempt to strike. That's the rule. It'll be interesting to see now with a man gone already. It's a tough one for James Owens.
Now, will it be a yellow or will it be a red? It could easily be a red, and I think James Owens is saying, you're a lucky man, perhaps. Let's not preempt it. What colour is it? It's a yellow. Lucky Liam Rush.
Well, Marty, I got away with it. Worst one probably against Clare in '98, as all the Clare people remind, but I should have got a red that day, and that should have been a red card as well. He pulled across him, and because the man was sent off already, and James Owens will be criticised for that by Pat McEnany and the referees afterwards. The other red might have been harsh, but that doesn't mean that shouldn't have been a red.
And it's Rush that comes away with it, trying to inspire his teammates. They've come to terms, perhaps, with the loss of Rhino the Wire, but there's a long way to go. 13 minutes. Ball in towards Johnny McCaffrey. Out comes Larkin McLaughlin. Knocked away from here, and in turn from Patrick Cronin. Referee blows the whistle. It's a free for Dublin again. The Leinster champions are giving every last drop of blood to try and get to the All-Ireland final for the first time since 1961.
Yeah, Pat Cronin holding back Johnny McCaffrey. But Marty, I can't believe the Cork tactics. They're playing with 6 defenders against 4 Dublin forwards. Niall Corcoran is still loose down the other end of the field. You'd imagine they'll push up, have one loose defender and put the pressure on the Cork forward line. They're playing, Dublin still have a spare back there, even though they're only playing with 14 men, and this is suiting Dublin, it's keeping them in the game.
Paul Ryan just about getting there. It's over the bar. He's missed the last few, but he gets his 7-point of the game.
Yeah, you'd have to say great heart by Dublin over the last few minutes.
It's Dublin 118, Cork 21 points, and I don't think I've ever been involved in a game where the sides were level 15 times. But that's exactly what has happened in this All-Ireland semi-final. 9 minutes ago, Rhino Dwyer was sent off for a second yellow. Liam Rush desperately lucky to stay on the pitch for a bit of a wild pull on Patrick Horgan. Cork, as Michael Duignan rightly pointed out, playing very defensively. Pass by Stephen McDonald didn't quite work out. Mark Schutte trying to put the pressure on the Glen Rovers man. Hand passes into the centre. Cork work themselves out of trouble. William Egan goes for distance. Underneath this, Niall Corcoran coming forward, batted away. Coming forward is Liam Rush in a little bit of space. Sending it along in front of the Hogan. To Shane Durkin, getting by the challenge of Daniel Carney. Giving it to Conal Keeney. Dropping this one in. Trying to get a connection, just a little connection, was Mark Schutte, but instead it comes to Cork and they deliver it long. Niall Corcoran underneath it. Ball comes, however, to Patrick Horgan, who turns, shoots and scores. His 8th point of the match. 11 against Kilkenny, 8 against Cork, and Cork lead again by 1. 22 points to 118.
Yeah, Niall Corcoran dropped that out of his hand under no pressure, but you'd have to say another great score by Horgan, just half a yard and quick turn over his shoulder. But I'm actually amazed by what Cork are doing. Why they don't just push up a man on Niall Corcoran? They still have an extra man at the back.
Dotsy O'Callaghan has gone off. Eamon Dillon is on. It's Conal Keeney with possession. Under pressure, gives it far as Liam Rush, looking for somebody available. Paul Ryan has come out to the half-forward line, controls it well. Gets away this occasion from Shane O'Neill. Pulls the brakes, turns right. What can he do from here? The referee has acknowledged what he's given. He's indicating that he handled the ball 3 times, and as a result,
if you watch it, he didn't actually catch it. He just bounced it again in his hand, but he did play it 3 times and just took the referee a minute to call it. If James Owens had a quiet first half, he's certainly not having a quiet second half. He's in the middle of everything, and there's going to be a lot of controversy, you know, over a couple of these decisions after the game. I can't believe it's only 10 minutes to go. This is after flying by. It's still some game. If you just watch here.
Just watch this again, Michael.
That's one. Catches second, and now he turns back inside. He throws it up, goes to catch it, and that's a free 3 times.
Free from Anthony Nash. Where is it going? Between the posts. Vital decision by the referee. Probably a correct one, but the game again swings towards Cork. There's a bit of a melee down here. Danny Sutcliffe is involved, and so too is Stephen White.
But that's a crucial, you know, piece of armoury for Cork to have. Like, you know, we see Stephen Cluxton, how important he's been with his free taking for Dublin footballers, but Anthony Nash to score 3 points in a tight game like this is huge for a goalkeeper to be able to come out and do that.
Stephen White and Danny Sutcliffe discuss the rights and wrongs of their particular schmozzle. Ultimately, it's James Owens from Wexford who's going to decide. My guess this is just going to be a yellow card for both. And that's what it is. Both players get yellow. 2 points between the teams. 7.5 minutes left in Croke Park. 14-man Dublin facing Cork on a roll now. Jamie Collin. Effort is half blocked. Mark Schutte has to try and get there ahead of Lorcan McLaughlin. McLaughlin pulls it, gets a little bit of ground. Paul Schutte is there. How is Liam Rush? Leadership now required. Paul Ryan underneath it. He loses his hurl, but he has the ball. And the referee doesn't give him the advantage, but he does blow his whistle and gives a free to Dublin. And at this stage, I think they'll gratefully accept it.
Yeah, it was Conall Keaney, a brilliant catch again with his right hand. He swapped hands. Cork players giving out, he dropped the hurl, but you know, brilliant catch. And Cork now have gone orthodox, Marty. They have moved up an extra forward, so they're gone with 6 forwards again. And this should be an easy one for Paul Ryan, just to put a point between them again.
And that's the second time Conall Keaney has caught some wonderful ball as Paul Ryan takes the point.
And Marty, you'd have to really admire the response of Dublin. You know, a man sent off, they went a couple of points down, but their heart and work rate is unbelievable, and this game is going to go right down to the wire.
Carl Naughton is on, Jamie Collin is off. 1 point between the teams.
And Carl Naughton has gone right into the full forward line, nobody to mark him. Cork now are playing with an extra attacker as we stand. Dublin have to readjust here quickly.
Jamie Collin is the one that's making way. He's done his bit to try and guide his county to the All-Ireland final. Anthony Nash takes the puck out. Up goes Seamus Harnedy. Patrick Cronin. No free given. It was a hefty challenge in Cronin. Ball comes out for his Lorcan McLaughlin. Going for his 4th point. It's tailing to the left and wide. Jimmy Barry Murphy. Nerve-tingling affair. Gary Maguire. No goal conceded in this semi-final. Comes out to Stephen McDonald. Daniel Carney gets it back by his William Egan. Gets it deep into Dublin territory. Great catch by Luke O'Farrell. With him is Paul Schutte. Diagonal ball across the face of the goal. Nobody there for Cork immediately available. Good play by Peter Kelly. First Johnny McCaffrey. Going for distance. Easily cut out on this occasion. Comes first Patrick Cronin. Cronin about to be challenged by Joey Boland. Cronin drops it in. Luke O'Farrell is underneath it. Gary Maguire comes off his goal line. But it's a goal for Cork. Patrick Horgan gets the goal. Gary Maguire came out to gather it, and literally it was snatched off his hurl by the Glen Rovers man.
Yeah, just a little bit loose, and you know, Pat Horgan following in brilliantly. I was just watching the replay, I didn't see what happened there. Marty, Peter Kelly gone down injured, but I thought Pat Horgan took the wrong option completely. Cathal Naughton was loose down the wing, played a high ball in, and you know, Cork, I said it at half time, Cork haven't scored a goal in their last 5 championship matches, and that goal, you know, probably be the deciding factor now at this stage.
Seamus Harnedy has given a yellow card. It has been given a yellow card. Much more difficult for Dublin, but they have 4 minutes. Can they recover? Can they retrieve the situation? Lorcan McLaughlin, Forrest Stephen McDonald goes for distance, down towards Patrick Horgan, knocked away from him. Peter Kelly foul. Referee says play on. Coming away with it is Conor Lahan. Uses the short grip, sends it across towards Luke O'Farrell. Ball is wide. Dear oh dear. 66 minutes and 47 seconds gone. 22 points to 26. This is Shane Durkin. Still Durkin. Daniel Carney chasing after. Paul Ryan blocked. Dublin trying engineer something special out of this. This is Eamon Dillon. Good defending by Conor O'Sullivan. Manages to get it up. Paul Ryan intercepts. Daniel Carney is there again. Flicks it into the centre to William Egan. Gets it down towards Patrick Cronin, the captain. Joey Boland is fouled. Free in for Dublin.
Marty, I can't just get over the pace of this game. It's never dropped for a second. We're in the 68th minute, and the tackling and the work rate and the commitment of both sets of players is unbelievable. And this will get it back to a goal. This is vital. You know, once you keep within 3 points to have a chance.
Paul Ryan. A vital free. He's missed a few, but he scored 5. This to reduce Cork's lead to 3. Floating it in, and it's gone wide. Is that it? Or Cork booking their tickets for September? This is the goal again.
Yeah, just watch Gary. We're just a little bit loose there, but you have to credit Pat Horgan. He came from a long way out, followed the ball in, and he finished it. But Paul Ryan, you could see his body language there, Marty. He wasn't comfortable, and that's 3 frees in the second half that he's missed. And you know, if he'd scored him, there'd only be a point in it. Now you can't afford it at this level, unfortunately.
And funny enough, despite those frees missed, no change in free taking by Dublin either.
Yeah, well, he's got 1 or 2 in between, but you know, Joey Boland was very, very good early in the year against Wexford on them, but that's, you know, it's going to be the difference, I'd say, at this stage.
Danny Sutcliffe drives it long. Ball is available for Dublin. They have to go for goal. Referee blows the whistle for the foul on Mark Schutte. Anthony Nash calls the troops in along the goal line. Schutte did well here. Fouled just outside the 20-metre line. Dublin really have no option here but to go for goal. 26 points to 22, 123 to 119. What an incredible game.
Well, the thing is, Marty, they need 2 scores. But Paul Ryan has a rocket of a shot. I think he will go for the goal, but you know, maybe he should tap it over and hope to get a goal in the next play.
Paul Ryan being told by Kieran Heatherton what to do. 6 Corkmen on the goal line. He drives it in, stopped by Nash, taken away by guess who? Cathal Naughton. He was pulled forward about 2 minutes ago. Away goes the road runner from Newtown Shandrum. Alan Kelly indicates it's a sideline ball for Dublin. 13 seconds left. Our Cork in the All-Ireland hurling final. William Egan drives it long. They may have lost the Munster hurling final, but for the first time since 2006 it looks like it's going to be the Rebels. Shane Durkin just missing it. Comes instead to Paul Schutte. Paul Schutte gives it up towards Paul Ryan, knocked away on this occasion by Shane O'Neill, steadying the ship. Paul Schutte has a cramp, but Alan O'Neill delivers it long. Down fires Gary Maguire. Over fires Danny Sutcliffe. We're now into injury time, and the ball dribbles out over the sideline. Nothing going right for the moment for Dublin, and the clock is very much against them.
Yeah, well, a player who'd had such a game, Danny Sutcliffe, unfortunate. What a game we've had. Here's Paul Ryan now. Anthony Nash out in front. And Cathal Naughton is shaped back there. One time he'd run away from everyone, but lads well able to stay with him nowadays. He's getting a bit older and they're getting a bit quicker.
Deep into injury time. About a minute left. Stephen White takes the sideline cut, comes straight for his Joey Boland. Up towards Mark Schutte. Coming out is Conal Keeney. Gathering it, however, is Christopher Joyce. Patrick Cronin. Selected at left half forward, but playing right half back at the moment. Comes down towards corner forward, Stephen Moylan. And that is going between the posts. Jimmy Barry Murphy's magic has once again sprinkled across the Cork hurling terrain, and the fans are absolutely ecstatic. What a journey. Dublin introduced Rory Traynor as Dublin throw everything. The sending off of Ryan O'Dwyer after 50 minutes crucial. The goal by Patrick Horgan, a vital component. And yet David Tracy's goal in the first half was the first time that Cork conceded a goal in this summer championship. All-Ireland semi-final is over. Cork are on their way back here on the first Sunday in September. Dublin, the Leinster champions, have been beaten. A match that saw these counties level 15 times. Heartbreak for Dublin. Heartbreak for the Leinster champions. But they have already made history. For Cork, they love their hurling. And today, they produced one of the most exciting, exhilarating performances that we've ever seen. Rhino Dwyer disgusted, heartbroken, devastated. So too is Danny Sutcliffe. But what has Jimmy Barry Murphy got? He guided them in the past. He came back. He built a young team. Players like Seamus Harnedy we'd never heard of before. He has produced a winning team. They may have lost the Munster final. Of course, they lost Patrick Horgan in a controversial sending off. But it's Cork in the All-Ireland final. Who will they play will be decided next Sunday when Clare play Limerick. Full-time score in Croke Park in a breathtaking All-Ireland semi-final. Cork 124, Dublin 119. Michael Dignan, the scenes on the pitch. Cork are absolutely overjoyed, and who will blame them?
Yeah, well, look, Marty, Tom Kenny is the only player in that Cork panel that started in an All-Ireland final. I think Shane O'Neill was a sub in 2005, and Brian Murphy. But, like, absolutely brilliant display. You talk about Jimmy Barry Murphy, what has he got? Well, the first thing he has, he's huge charisma, he's a great personality, but he also, you know, in his first year, he didn't panic. He stuck with the panel that was there. He brought back in Sean O'Halpine, John Gardner. They were all still there. But this year, you know, a few lads, Owen Caddingham went to football. There was a few defections, and maybe that made things easier. He could build a new team. And look at his backroom team. Gerard Cunningham, Johnny Crowley, Kieran Kingston, Shawnee McGrath, all All-Ireland medal winners. But well done to Cork, and hard luck to Dublin and to Anthony Daly.
Well, Cork might have won a minor All-Ireland since 2001, but they are in the senior All-Ireland final on the 8th of September. Let's go down to Joanne.
And what an influence this man had in today's match. Lurcon McLaughlin, congratulations. To get to an All-Ireland final, but to do it winning a match like that, what's it like?
Unbelievable. That game was intense, you know, and we knew exactly what we were going to expect from Dublin. They're a physical, fit team, you know, outstanding hurlers, and they picked off some unbelievable scores. And I suppose, obviously, the sending off of the Bairn in the game, but look, we were set up for that. The same thing happened to us in the Munster final, you know, but I thought the lads were outstanding. I thought our backs, our excellency, our forwards worked hard. I thought Danny Carney in midfield was outstanding as well.
Worked hard, intense. It was just non-stop.
Yeah, I suppose the game had everything, you know, and it just goes to show the work that's been done up in Dublin. You know, they were outstanding today, and that's perfect preparation going into an All-Ireland final. But, you know, I think the harsh thing about GA is we have to do it all over again now, and we're really looking forward to an All-Ireland final.
It was levels, goodness knows how many times. When the goal went in, did you finally start to believe that was it?
I suppose you can't against Dublin. You can't really believe until the final whistle is gone, you know. But I thought we were outstanding. Like, you know, the subs that came on gave a huge effort, and look, we're just delighted being in an All-Ireland final.
And what support you got today as well. Lurcon McLaughlin and Cork, congratulations.
Yes, thanks a million.
Well done indeed, and thanks very much to Joanne for that. Cyril Farrell, the first thing I think we have to do is pay tribute to both teams. I mean, to say that was an epic semi-final would be an understatement.
Well, as George said, you could use any superlative you like, but like the point is, like, Hurling played like that is a fantastic game. Okay, the sending off, the second yellow, like, kind of probably changed the game, and Pat Horgan's goal, but it was a great game. Dublin were very disappointed. They played their hearts out. You know, they gave it everything, but just that little bit of artistry from Cork. They were able to get the scores that little bit. No, they didn't get them easy, but they were able to get the scores from outside, which they've been doing all day. And today they got the goal. Kind of that, when the goal came, I give them the break. But like, talk about a game for 70 minutes. Joe was saying at half time the fitness, which is you have to come into a game like that, but the fitness levels of both teams, the skill of both teams, and like the sportsmanship of both teams. Okay, there was hard belts in it, but like it was played the way it should be played. Like Cork were back at the final. Dublin would be very, very disappointed, but you had over 60,000 people here today, and like if it was a draw, you'd have 80,000, because this was an epic, fantastic game of hurling, great scores. It's tough on Dublin to be a loser, but it's a great game for Cork to win. And
Sherlock Nan, it is going to be an all-Munster All-Ireland final, yes. But the question is, I know what you were thinking anyway.
Yeah, and looking at that there today, you'd see would either of the other two be up to that standard, but Estelle was saying to me off camera there, it's going to be a different game, whoever they're playing. And Limerick have beaten Cork already, so Cork will be out. It's the way Cork have improved, Michael, you know, from that Munster final. the level of aggression that they have, apart from their skill, their fantastic movement, you know, all of the things you love in hurling, this Cork team has them. But you wondered, would they have the real gut for battle when it came to it, and how they showed that today, you know. And I suppose the game was decided on a few turning points, apart from the sending off at all. But I think it was great that it was decided by an absolute moment of genius from Patrick Horgan, because you think that was an easy goal. To do the run and to have that flick just when it was badly needed and put it away, it was just fitting. And he was also good, as we were saying there earlier on, that he was decided by a wider margin. It would be an awful game to lose that by a point, but what a game, what an advertisement for hurling. Brilliant.
We need to take a break, there's no doubt about that. We'll have full reaction and analysis after that break, but now